Hey YouTube, this is Tom at TM Aquatics, and I hope you're all doing great. It's Sunday, September 15th, and I am just leaving Madison, Wisconsin, where I attended my first ever Cataclysm Catfish convention. I had a great time down here, met a lot of new people like Ted Judy, Jeremy Bosch, Jay Wilson, and a whole bunch of others. But I also picked up some new fish for the fish room, including a new L number that I currently don't keep, and it was on my bucket list. I also picked up a bucket list Corydoras species, and that perhaps could have been the deal of the weekend here at Cataclysm. In addition to those, I picked up a whole lot of other stuff, so stick around, find out what I got. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Alright YouTube, I'm back home. I'm down in the fish room. My haul from Cataclysm is right behind me here, and I'll show you everything that I picked up. But I do want to first say that I know a lot of people probably would like to see some footage of the Cataclysm event. My intent was not to go down there and to put a camera in front of people and to interview and to drag that equipment around. I went down there really to network, to meet a bunch of people that know a lot more about plecos and catfish than I do, and to really listen to the speakers and to learn. So I didn't think that it was right for me personally. I didn't want to be carrying a camera around and filming the speeches and showing all the events that Cataclysm had to offer. Now I know there was another YouTuber there, Jay Wilson was there. Maybe Jay captured some material. There's a lot of footage on the Cataclysm Facebook page, so if you want to find out a little bit more about what happened and what went down at Cataclysm, check out the Cataclysm Facebook page. It's filled with a lot of good information. But anyways, we're going to start digging through this stuff. I've got a lot of fish to acclimate, a lot of fish to move around. I have to set up a couple more tanks right now, so it's time to get busy. Alright YouTube, this is the Cataclysm haul of 2019. We'll go through everything. There's a lot of fish in the cooler. A lot of cool fish in the cooler. We got some items over here in this bag as well, but we're going to start down here. I brought this 5-gallon tank with in case I needed it, but these two bags here came from Freshwater Exotics. This first fish here is an L47 Mango Pleco, and this was pre-purchased from Freshwater Exotics. This is actually my brother's fish for one of his display tanks, so I'll be bringing that over to his fish room later this evening. This big bag here is a big male L264 Sultan Pleco, and I already have a tank full of Sultan Plecos, but the one large adult that I thought was a male sure is getting pretty thick around the midsection, and I think it's actually another female. So I asked them to give me the biggest, largest, gnarliest Sultan Pleco male they had, and this was purchased before Cataclysm. Actually, I bought this about a month ago, and was hoping to pick it up from them sooner, but ended up having them bring it to Cataclysm. So that's what we have over here, Mango Pleco and a Sultan Pleco. And actually, I'm going to grab this and just set it down. Clearly, you can see the big chunk of manzanita wood. You can never have too much manzanita wood. And this piece here is pretty darn big for 20 bucks. I thought it was a good deal. This, I can tuck a lot of caves underneath this, use this for structure. I wish, in hindsight, I would have bought maybe 3 or 4 more big pieces like this, because you just don't find big pieces of manzanita. And this thing is heavy. That is going to sink right away. Over here in the bag, the new Ebo Aquaristick insect formula, and these I believe are 1mm pellets. That's a new formula. I've been wanting to try that for quite a while. And then I also picked up my fish's favorite, the Muscle Pro Soft pellets, and again these are the 1mm pellets. But my zebra plecos, all my Hypancistrus like that, but needed this stuff because we have some fish in here that are going to love this. Also down in the goodie bag here, I picked up some bamboo caves, and at $3 a piece, yeah, I could go find a piece of bamboo and cut it myself, but problem is finding a piece of bamboo. So I wanted some bamboo caves. I just saw a video recently of Biggs talking about these as well, but it's something I've been wanting to find for a while. There was a vendor down there, I believe it was Aquatic Clarity, and these are a great size for my L397s, I hope. And yeah, I just wanted some bamboo caves in the 397 tank. So that's it as far as things I got in that bag. So we're gonna go ahead and dig into the cooler, and this is where the fun is gonna start. So actually I think I'm gonna clear the table and maybe set up my tripod. I don't know, because this is gonna be kind of hard to do with an iPad in my hand, but I definitely need to make space here on this top of the stand. So I'll be back in 1 second. Alright YouTube, so I have everything slid down over here to this end of the top of that new stand, which is painted by the way, and I do have the foam down below underneath the tanks, and a 40 breeder, 210s, and again I took that 5 width, but anyway, still need to cut the foam for the top here, and I did decide I'm going to go with 2 more 40 breeders on top. So anyways, in the cooler here, this first bag, I am super excited about this. I went there with the intentions of hoping to buy these. When I got there, everybody wanted $20 to $30 per fish. And this morning, somebody had a bunch left over. And of course, they didn't want to pack them up and bring them back home. So I got these for $7 a fish. And this, to me, is the deal of Cataclysm. This made the whole thing worth it. So, don't know how well you can see that, and they're going to be a little stressed and faded out. And I'll make sure to show pictures of all these fish once they're in a tank, but there are 14 CW49 Black Diamond Corydoras. And these were a bucket list fish for me, and I am super excited because I thought that I was going to miss out and not get any of these. In fact, I was planning on staying at Cataclysm for the auction because there were some other Corydoras that were a close runner-up that I was going to bid on. But once I picked these up at 8 o'clock this morning, I packed my bags and I got out of town. So anyways, next up, these here. These are 2 more. And again, they're faded. These are L397s. And these 2 came from... let's see. These 2 came from Eric Thomas, who lives out in Stockton, California. And Eric breeds a lot of pretty rare stuff, and I know he's got good stuff, but I wanted to add some additional DNA to my group of 397s. And got a really good price on these. And I'll try to show these when they're in a container so you can see them a little bit better, but just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous fish. And to go along with them, 2 more L397s. And these came from Jeremy Bosch. Actually, Jeremy didn't breed these, but a buddy of his bred these, and he was selling them at Cataclysm. But they're quite faded right now. I'll drop a picture, of course, in this video so you know what these look like. But we'll show some footage of these guys after they're out of the bag, hopefully colored up. And yeah, so this next bag, I'm not sure if you can see that. More zebra Plecos. And there's actually 4 of them. Now these guys are little. These didn't cost me a penny. I traded some of my L134 leopard frog Plecos for zebra Plecos with Jeremy Bosch, but we were going to trade 2 for 1. 2 leopard frog Plecos for 1 zebra, and he said he'd like 6 leopard frogs, so I was expecting 3 zebra Plecos from him. And they're little guys, I mean, and he told me they're little, but he ended up bagging up 4 of them for me, so thank you, Jeremy. That's awesome, and these guys got a long way to go before they're going to be ready to breed, but yeah, there's 4 zebra Plecos, and again, I will try to get footage of all these fish once they're in a tank. Now this next one here, this came from the Dutch auctions. I had no intentions on buying these when I went down there. I didn't even know they were going to be there, but I ended up getting 8 of these. I won a Dutch auction, meaning I was the highest bidder, and I got to choose how many of them I wanted. And in here are 4 L236s, and they're just a stunning black and white Pleco. Of course, they're juveniles and they're stressed, but I'll get a picture of these. And then in this bag there are 4 more, so I got 8 L236s. And what's really nice is they look really similar to a lot of the black and white Hypancistrus, but the 236s have a white base with black markings as opposed to like the 333s that have a black base with white markings. And I think that matters because you see these coming out in the super white variety, which can sometimes cost thousands of dollars, from what I understand. But these are a little different because they have a white base with black markings, is what I was told. So, but the 236s were definitely a bucket list fish. I know another source that has these, so I'll definitely be getting 2 to 4 more from another source, just so I have extra DNA added into the group. So, anyways, we picked up 8 L236s, 4 L46 zebras, total of 4 L397s from 2 different sources, 14 CW49 Corydoras. I've got these bamboo Pleco caves, this big massive piece of driftwood, and my big gnarly L264 crusty old male Pleco here, and then the mango Pleco for my brother, and some Ebo Aquaristic. So that is my haul from Cataclysm. Needless to say, I came back with a full cooler and an empty wallet, and I'm perfectly good with that. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get some fish acclimated. I'll try to get some footage of all these fish once they're in a tank so you can see them a little bit better. So hang tight, and I'll be right back. Alright YouTube, it is now Monday morning. It just got too late last night. Took a long time setting up new tanks, moving fish around, getting them properly acclimated. By the time I was done, I was just tired, didn't want a video. I just wanted to go to bed. So what I ended up having to do last night is set up this 40 breeder down here. I wasn't ready. I planned to run electrical and hang it on this post over here. As you can see, I had to stretch an extension cord out over here to plug the heater in. Made it work though. I ended up moving my group of L260 Queen Arabesque Plecos in there. They came out of that 20 long up there. I have 8 of them, and I needed that 20 long up there for the new zebra Plecos and the L236s. But the new the Queen Arabesque got moved into this 40 breeder, and they're doing great. And there's that new piece of driftwood I picked up. Now I might have referred to that as manzanita wood earlier in the video. If so, I'll do a text edit on that, but that is Malaysian driftwood. I'm already kicking myself for not picking up more because I could use like 4 or 5 more pieces that size. So we'll head over here to the 20 long, and I know we're not really going to see much because these guys are hiding. There's one of the new L236. There's one of the new zebras right there. Beautiful fish. And I just want to add real quickly, my arrangements with Jeremy Bosch before Cataclysm was I was going to trade him 6 leopard frog Plecos for 3 zebra Plecos, and he ended up giving me 4 zebra Plecos. I mean, who does that? And I mean, that was just an awesome thing by Jeremy Bosch, and I ended up getting 4 zebra Plecos for my 6 leopard frog Plecos. I feel like I need to bag a couple more up and send to him. There's another 236 up there. And there's a bunch hanging back here. You can see a zebra Pleco tail. You can see more 236s back there. But I mean, Jeremy, I spoke with Jeremy for like an hour and a half in his room one night, and he's just an awesome dude. And I tell you what, he's a smart dude. He knows catfish. And I have the utmost respect for him and what he does. If you're not familiar with Jeremy, I know Rob at Flip Aquatics has been there and did a video on his fish room a couple times, I believe. Corey from Aquarium Co-op, Sergeant Tank, a lot of those guys have been out and posted YouTube videos. So do a YouTube search for Jeremy Bosch. Jeremy does post videos from time to time as well, but what an awesome gesture to give me an additional zebra Pleco. That's just fantastic. Another 236. I'm going to go ahead and kill these lights here. All right. So down here, these guys are going to be a little more photogenic. This is the new group of CW49 Corydoras. And I picked up 14. I'll try to keep my feet out of the frame. But I'm just super excited that I scored a large group of these. Look at that. That black, the way it extends up into the dorsal fin, it kind of makes it look like a high fin. It also kind of reminds me of like a big orca fin coming out of the water. There's a total of 14 in here. And I'm super excited. I am going to be breeding these as much as I can and selling them, making them available on the Get Deals website. But just a fantastic looking Corydoras. My goodness. Tell me what you think about these things down below in the comments section. Not Cataclysm related, but in the fry box while I was gone, the super reds I have in here spawned and the male ended up kicking out all the eggs. There's 42 eggs in here. They're fertilized and looks like they're developing. So we'll have some more super reds coming soon. Also not Cataclysm related. 11 L134 fry in the tumbler. Lost about 2/3 to fungus, which was the worst I've ever had, but 11 is still better than 0. Also not Cataclysm related, the green laser Corys have been moved into a grow out tank. They're doing great. Alright, let's keep moving. So over here, had an issue last night. The 397s are down here, the L264s are up here. My intent was to set up these two 10-gallon tanks for quarantine, put the 397s in one tank, the 264 in the other. I have a couple of orders coming. One order was heaters, another order was fish food and air tubing. I saw a package delivered on Saturday. I was 100% certain it was my heaters. Was getting ready to set these tanks up last night for quarantine and realized it was the air tubing and the fish food that delivered, and my heaters aren't going to deliver until later today or tomorrow. It was too late in the day. Pleco, PetSmart were already closed, so I had no choice but to add the 397s and the 264 straight into the established tank. I don't ever recommend that. And here I had to do that. But, you know, you got to get the fish in a tank and keep them warm and keep fresh water. Just can't keep them in bags for 3-4 days. It just doesn't work. So the 397s were added in here. Now, I'm not real concerned about the 397s so much. You can see one little guy down there. There's a new one. In fact, I know there were 2 of them down there. And this iPad really doesn't represent the color real well, but these 397s came from some very reputable people, very reputable hobbyists, and I know that these things are 100% healthy. So I wasn't really concerned about these so much, but I'll still be watching this tank very closely, but I'm sure they didn't bring any nasties in here at all. It's just best practices is always to quarantine. Now up here is the crusty 264 male that I got from Freshwater. I asked Freshwater if they had treated this fish. They said yes, he's been dewormed, they went through a parasite treatment, all that. He should be healthy. He's been in their fish room for a while. I looked him over. He looked to be pretty decent, but I will still be watching this tank as well. Now I did ask for the largest, crustiest male. The other sultans that I picked up from Freshwater last year are supposed to be a male and female, and one of the fish ended up being, actually the one that I thought was a male looks like it's another female. So I told them, bring me the largest, crustiest male you can, and they delivered a beast. Now he's bigger than I was expecting. Everything I thought and everything I've read says sultans get 6 inches. This guy is 7.5 inches. He's huge. He makes my other large sultans look like fry. I mean, there's one of the others down in that cave there. But just see how much bigger he is. Now, with that being said, I'm already thinking about getting rid of the Sultan Plecos, even though I just added him. I think I'd like to turn this tank over to some more leopard frog Plecos. Unfortunate, but I just have, I think, too many Pleco species in the fish room, and these are my least favorite of the ones that I currently keep, so these actually might be disappearing. We'll give it a while, maybe 6 months or so. Might give it through winter to see if he hooks up with one of those females. That would be great. But anyways, just something I'm thinking about. So with that being said, folks, this video got a little long. My apologies, but I definitely appreciate everybody stopping by and watching one of my videos, taking the time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. If you have any comments or questions about Cataclysm, please let me know. Let me know what you think of the new fish that I added. Also, be sure to Google CatCon Catfish Convention 2020. It's going to be in Virginia, outside Washington, D.C. I do plan on attending. If you're into Plecos, if you're into Corydoras, if you're into catfish, you really need to get involved in Cataclysm, CatCon, Catfish Study Group. They need more people. They need more hobbyists. But anyways, appreciate it again. Hit the like button on your way out. Please subscribe. Comments, questions down below. Until the next time, we'll catch you all later.